sure it was a misunderstanding because I never got in trouble. I did not like getting in trouble. I didn't like consequences. I didn't like pain. I didn't want to let anyone down, most of all my parents. And so whatever mischief was going on, I didn't want any part of it because it just was not worth it to me. And so throughout grade school, middle school, high school, I naturally gravitated towards the good girl crowd. And so when I was 16, I got the lead role in a school play. I was so excited about this role. I had grown up doing theater, and I don't think that I had been more excited about a role than this one before. It just was really fun. It had great lines. It was a great character. At the beginning of every show, our director routinely had all of the cast and crew sign a contract saying that we promised not to use any illegal substances throughout the duration of the show. I signed the contract, and I don't think another thing of it. At this same time, my brother was dying. He had been battling leukemia off and on for about 4 years. His name was Brian, and he was an older brother. And so with each relapse, the cancer comes back smarter, and it comes back stronger. And so with, it comes back smarter and stronger. And so for Brian, he just came to a place where he made the decision that he was sick of having treatment. You know, he was tired and he was ready to meet his maker. You know, if it wasn't for Brian, I would have completely missed out on the grunge era. This is one of the benefits of having an older sibling. And so because of Brian, I heard music that I would not have otherwise heard. I heard bands like Alice in Chains, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Tracy Chapman, the Cranberries. I can still picture how Brian dressed when he was in high school. He wore these washed out jeans that stacked up just above his Vans. And he had no holes in the knees, but they were just absurdly large holes. He wore this woven leather belt that was so long that it hung down to about mid-thigh. He always had the flannel shirt. It was either on or it was tied around his waist. He wore rounded wireframe glasses. His hair was parted straight down the middle, and it hung to both sides, and the bangs hung mysteriously in his eyes. I mean, talk about fashion and music that says, I just don't care what you think. And so, you know, Brian was a little bit of a bad boy in those days, but he was always a great older brother. In Brian's last few months, we had a lot of visitors, a lot of people coming to share a meal, share stories, say goodbye. And some of Brian's old high school buddies came, and just for old time's sake, they gave him a few joints. So after everybody left, Brian pulled me aside, and he asked me if I wanted to smoke with him. And the first thing that I thought about was that damn contract that I signed. You know, I was pretty square at this time, and I was honestly afraid of the perfect storm. You know, somebody was going to see me. They were going to tell on me. I was going to be kicked out of the school play. And my whole 16-year-old world was going to come crashing down. And, you know, but at the same time, this was not your regular peer pressure. You know, the kind that they warn you about in DARE. Just, you know, no, this was not that. This was my older brother who loves me, who wants to share this experience with me, who's dying. I mean, if there was ever a time to smoke illegal substances, was this application? And so, you know, I told Brian I wanted to think about it. And so a few days passed, and a few more days passed, and, well, I never took Brian up on the offer. I later learned that my mom did. I'm glad, though. I'm glad that he didn't have to smoke alone. Later, in college, I think I was subconsciously seeking some balance to my situation because I started to think about ways that I could push the bill a little and maybe be a little bit bad. So I pierced my nose, so did everyone else. So that really wasn't bad or different. I could get a tattoo, but it was just so permanent. I couldn't really commit to that. But for years, I had had this fascination fascination with women shaving their heads. And so, you know, I was influenced by some of those grunge artists like Sinead O'Connor and the Cranberries. And, you know, for a woman, hair is everything, you know. It's one of the most defining symbols of girlhood, you know, and what it means to be a woman. And so it perplexed me, you know, what was it about these women that they could shave it off, that they could go without it, like it was no big deal, and they were still as beautiful and as confident as ever. And so I was really interested and intrigued by that. So I started to think about, you know, what if I did this? Well, first of all, what would it feel like to not have hair? That would be kind of weird. But then, you know, what would people think about me? Would they make assumptions about me and treat me differently because of it? Would they think that I had cancer? Would they think I was homeless and strung out? Would they think I was a lesbian? And so it was a sort of a social experiment for me. But also, I realized I'm in college. Like, this is the time to do this. You know, like, pretty soon I'm going to graduate, and I'm going to have to get a job and become a professional. And so, now or never, I've got to do this. And so, what did I do? I created a Facebook event. And I invited all of my friends to come watch me make this transition from good girl with normal hair, boring, no offense, to badass rebel joining forces with women like Sinead O'Connor and the Cranberries, and I guess many more can be in there. And so I did it. I shaved my head, and what happened? Well, essentially nothing changed. You know, I used to get compliments on my long curly hair, and now I got compliments on my lack of hair. And nobody treated me with any of those prejudices that I thought they might. I still went to all of my classes and turned in all of my assignments. And I went to work on time, the speed limit. I pretty much kept all the rules. I mean, who was I kidding? I was still me. I just didn't have any hair. But you know, I think Brian would have really liked it.